Record on this computer. All right, so I'm recording on this computer. So I got a couple of things for you today. Number one, you guys have an exam coming up on Thursday, and so hopefully you will talk with Jing about that, and you will see her at 5 o'clock today in order to do that, and then she'll leave a notice out for you. Some of the things that I'm gonna look at my notes. If you look, I made an announcement, and I will share the screen and kind of look at my announcement in here. And so let me pop on this screen. All right, so I am sharing my screen. If we look on this, if we look on announcements, basically what I wanted to do is kind of tell you a little bit about the schedule for the next 4 weeks. So I'm going to change some things up a little bit. We are going to do all the things that we said we were going to do in the syllabus, but the times on them may be a little bit different. I'm a little concerned, roughly about 1/5 of you were not able to do the ELISA assignment, and so we can talk about that a little bit more. What I want to do is explain a little bit about how to do the ELISA. We will do that, and then we'll go on with that. We will be doing about 4 or 5 of the Labster. Labster is the name of the company that makes the simulations. We'll be doing about 5 of those Labster simulations. So if you don't have a computer, there's a possibility of us kind of getting you one to use for the next couple of weeks in order for you to do those simulations. Or what we can do is do a video Zoom where we do a couple of you and we just kind of go through it, and then I give you credit for that. So that's a possibility. So if you're having troubles with this, kind of let me know. You will be getting an email from me pretty soon. So today, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to start the hematology simulation. That's where you'll be looking at blood cell types. I'm also going to use, rather than have you present your M&M presentations on either a discussion board or have you do it on Zoom, which is I was going to do, that was going to get a little bit hard, tricky, because not everyone can gotta be here. So I needed to look for something that's a little bit more asynchronous. And so I wanted to use this thing called Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a little bit harder to use, but again, it should work on your phones or an iPad if you have that, so we won't have the problems that we have with Labster on it. But what I wanted to do today is to kind of have you do a beginning introduction to Flipgrid. I'll show you how to do that today. And then what I want you to do is to introduce yourselves, to tell me what you like or what we had fun in microbiology, and to be able to show your desktop. Next week, next week, we're actually going to be using the Flipgrid for the journal club, and then I'll show you how to do that. And we'll give you some information on that. So each and every one of you will be doing a journal club, yet you'll be talking to other people on that. And then we are going to be doing, roughly 2 days after that, we're going to be starting our M&M reports. And I will talk about those actually on Thursday. All right? Is everyone okay with that? On 4:30, you have an exam on that date. I'm saying here take a break, but not really. I'm going to have 2 Labsters on food microbiology and sewer microbiology. So you should have been doing an ELISA Labster. Today you're going to be working on a hematology Labster. And then you're going to be doing, again, I will give you the links for those food microbiology and sewer microbiology. And then we're going to be doing one last Labster, which is going to be identifying the unknown on the Labster. It's not as good as your unknown project, but it will be kind of similar, should be a little bit similar to that. And that should be the extent of the Labsters. You have about 5 Labsters, and you have about a week to do each of those Labster simulations. Okay. On 5.5, that's we're going to do our Flipgrid journal. So again, Flipgrid is a little bit different than what you're used to. And so that's where I want to do an introduction demo today. We're going to use it as our journal club a week from today, and then we'll go ahead and finally use it for your M&M presentations. And I will go over those basically on Thursday, okay? 5.7, on 5.7 you'll do that. So that's basically what we have for the next 2 weeks. Again, you will be identifying an unknown, usually from labsters. The viral titer experiment that you were supposed to do the week before, I wanted to modify that a little bit because, again, the coronavirus, the viral titering and looking at the cytopathic effects on tissue culture are one of the ways that we have of kind of verifying and looking at this particular disease. So I want to have that out a little bit. We also want to look a little bit at the enteric bacteria, which is basically the bacteria from fecal matter. I think that's a little bit important. We'll talk about that kind of by the end. So it's coming up on the end, and we have a number of different things that I want to do. The great thing about using Labster rather than using Zoom is we don't have to do it synchronously. So in the Labster, Flipgrid, you can actually do it at midnight, and somebody can take a look at it and make a response to it at 3 in the morning or 11 in the morning or whatever. So it does it a little bit. So it keeps it from being kind of synchronous, and I know we were having some problems with that. Before I start on, does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the share a little bit and take a look. All right, good.
One quick question.
Yes.
Just to confirm, originally our PowerPoint or whatever program we were using to do our M&M report, we were supposed to upload that by Thursday. Is that no longer the case?
That is no longer the case. We're going to start on that on the 7th.
Okay, just wanted to confirm.
Okay. And then I will, again, there's some people who need a little bit more directions on that, and I will be talking about those directions kind of during the day of the midterm. Okay. Again, you're still going to be doing a PowerPoint, but just how you're going to be presenting the PowerPoint is a little bit different. All right, want to take a little bit of a breather here. We've been going now for about 10 minutes. Looks like we got most everyone. We are recording, so that's good. Any other particular questions? So what I was going to do first is go through Flipgrid on how to do the Flipgrid. I will talk a little bit about today's simulation, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to go back to the lab. So going back to, so I'm going to do home. So I'm on Canvas right now. I am going to change the Canvas to student view. So this should be the view that you see when you're on Canvas. And the things that you want to do for today. And so, so this is the modules that are on it. And if you go to assignments, sorry, I'm using a kind of a little sigmoidal scope to do this picture because I can use the other one. And then what I want you to do is if you do this, you can do the Labster demo. Again, I gave a score of 1 point on this, and I'll probably take that off a little bit later. The Labster demo is a little bit easier. It's a little bit smaller, so it loads a little bit easier than some of the other ones like the ELISA does. And the Labster demo is meant to be kind of a short demonstration to kind of get you an idea of what do you need to do for Labster. After that, I know the vast majority of you done this. There's an ELISA. You take that. You can take, again, with these Labster demonstrations, you can take them as many times as you want in order to get the score that you want. It will keep the highest score. So if you get a 8 out of 10 on the ELISA, you know, and again, they're going to be worth more points, but what it does is it looks at your percentage. So if you get 90%, you're going to get a 9 out of 10. All right. So if you are unhappy with your score, you can attempt it again to try and get a higher score. However, sometimes you get a lower score. If you get a lower score, it will keep your high score. Again, what I want to do today is the hematology. I took the ELISA. There were some people having some troubles with this, so I increased the deadline to May 5th. And again, for the hematology, that deadline is May 5th. That would be, I believe, this actually the May 3rd, the due date's May 3rd, which would be this Sunday night at midnight. Okay, and so again, you can do those as you want. What I'm going to show you right now is this idea of Flipgrid. And so the idea is that a lot of students use their phone to take pictures and kind of stuff like that. And again, the developers of this app wanted to do is to have a way to basically have like a discussion board, but only have it be video. Now, this is a little bit different way to do stuff, but you know, again, it's starting to be more and more how people do stuff, and so I would like you to try it. If you click, I'm going to click on Flipgrid, and so we're going to use the Flipgrid to introduce yourself and your desktop to Nick Cap. And so again, a lot of you, I'm starting to recognize your name. Like Peter, you ask questions, so I know. Well, I don't necessarily know what your face looks like, but I see Phyllis has a great backyard, so I'll kind of remember that. Stacy, again, I've seen your number before, so I've seen a number of you. So I'd like to get to know you a little bit more, and this assignment will do that. This assignment is going to be worth 5 points. Basically, for 3 points, what I want you to do is to state your name and your major and what you want to do. Number 2, what was the most fun thing that you did during microbiology laboratory? And number 3, I want you to show your laptop, PowerPoint or whatever like that. So you're going to make a little video and you're going to be able to do this. And so if you have an integrated camera in your, either in your phone or on your laptop, this should be able to do it. I don't want to have more than kind of 1 minute for this. The other thing that I want you to do is I want you to see somebody else's Flipgrid, and then I want you to make a video comment on it, and we'll look at that. And so again, a lot of these things we just need to do. I could write up a 30-page manual on how to do this, but you know, just go ahead and try and do it. Again, the reason why I want you to get to know Flipgrid is that we're going to use it 2 times more in class. And so 1 week from today, we're going to take the time during lab to actually do the Flipgrid to do your journal club, all right? And then basically after that, we're gonna start using it for our M&M reports, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. And so here's our Flipgrid. If we take a look at that Flipgrid, if we go down a little bit, I have a number of videos. Oh, you should have had a video up, introduce yourselves. And so we're going to go into this Flipgrid. All right. So what you want to do is click on the green plus to record your video. And so if you look at it here, I have several videos that are up there. Again, you put on who you are and then what this desktop is. And if you notice, there's some little links inside of there. And so this is me giving a review of this one here.
Okay, I really liked Nick's video. I thought it was really good. Great editing, kind of everything. It was the real deal.
Okay, so here's me making a comment on it. You can
that nighttime Nick was really, really good looking, and it really had some good ideas. So I really liked and I appreciate kind of what you're doing, Nick. There, kind of keep up the good work. Again, this is Nick. Nick, you're doing great. Okay, you can add stuff to the video. I just want to show you that on this side over here, I put a little smiley face in there. You can do a lot of different stuff like this that you do. Just that's it.
Okay. And then if you want to leave a talk on that, you can do this as well. And so I'm just kind of get out of there. And so what you want to do is you're going to come over here on this big plus. You're going to add your video. And I only give you about 1.5 minutes to do this video. There's some editing stuff, but it's relatively simple. And so look at it. So what you want to do is maybe write down what you are going to do. And so, again, I think I said you want your name, your major, funny thing in lab, and then show desktop. And that may be the hardest thing. I'll do that. So I'm going to click on this plus here. So if I click on this plus, I get this link here. And so here's the camera. And so my camera is going to go in here. I can do this camera. Again, I can do filters. You know, again, if you use some of this Snapchat or whatever like that, you may be able to be aware of that. This here also gives you the video options that you have. And so I'm going to just click on this, and it gives you a countdown. Hi, my name is Nick Cap. My major is microbiology. The funniest thing that I ever did on lab was that we grew yogurt and there's a little bit of mold on it, but I took off the mold and I ate it and I still thought it was good. Okay. And so again, you can take a look at this. You can redo this. And what I want to do is I want to add some more stuff to it. I could add some more stuff to the end of it. But trouble is, this is missing here. So let's go back. I'm going to redo. I kind of threw this out. What I'm looking for is this. And what trouble is, sometimes it comes in, sometimes it doesn't. And so if you click on video options here, it's going to screen record. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording my screen. I got to look at it and start screen recording. And I can look at my applications window, what window I want to look at. Here's a photo. 2, 1. Hi, Nick and everyone. This is my screenshot. I'm just showing you. This a friend of mine sent this. He had a stellar jay put a nest right near his front door, so he can't move his ladder until they're done.
Hi, Nick and everyone. This is my screenshot. I'm just showing you. This a friend of mine sent this. He had a stellar jay put a nest.
Okay, and then I'm going to add more. And so what I want to do now, so I have this little bit of this video. So I showed my desktop. Again, you need to use these 3 buttons to show your desktop, but I didn't have those. So I showed my desktop first. And now what I want to do, 1, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. This is Nick Cap. My major is microbiology. The funniest thing that I did in laboratory was actually one time somebody in lab forgot their shoes, so they put gloves on their feet. It looked like monkey feet, and because they had their sandals on in laboratory, which is should have wear hard shoes. And so that was my funniest thing. And so I am done. Okay, so it took me a little bit less than that. All right, I'm gonna do my next.
Hi, Nick and everyone. This is my screenshot. I'm just showing you. This a friend of mine sent this. He had a stellar jay put a nest right near his front door, so he can't move his ladder until they're done. Hi everyone, this is Nick Cap. My major is microbiology. The funniest thing that I did in laboratory was actually one time somebody in the lab forgot their shoes, so they put gloves on their feet. They look like monkey feet, and because they had their sandals on in laboratory, which is should have wear hard shoes. And so that was my funniest thing. So I am one. Hi, Nick.
Okay, and so basically I'm done with that. You're going to take a selfie where people can kind of recognize you. Again, you could go back and redo that selfie. It's preparing your video to kind of go up. This will record the video. If you get a URL, you can kind of share it with other people and stuff like that. If you've got a really cool video, I guess you can download it as well as if you want to do that. I'm going to admit that person in here. Again, this is filling it up. And what you want to do, my name, CK, Camp. Remember, you guys, when you put your name in, put your full name, because I don't know kind of who you are yet, and this is the final version. I would say when you do this, I'm putting a bunch of versions in there. You only put one version in there because, again, like I said before, I'm only going to grade one of these, and I think what that does is that grades the most recent one. So again, if you click that in, I have completed this assignment. Click on complete, and so if I go down and look at here, I'm actually probably going to have to reload that. Okay. And so I have here Nick K. So I have one that's up here. So I've done this a number of times. So what I want you to do is to go through and try and do the flip grid, introduce yourself. So this main thing, I want you to get to know the flip grid. I need to know that, you know, number one, can you stick your face in front of a camera? It would be nice to know who you are and get to know you a little bit. You know, it's getting a little bit late, but, you know, it's still really nice to see a video and have you talk and stuff like that. And it kind of helps you remember who you are and give me a little bit more empathy for you and kind of what's going on with you. Also, what I would like you to do is, again, in your next presentations, you're actually going to be doing a screenshot of something that's on your computer. So you want to be able to kind of show me that you can get onto your computer and do a screenshot of your computer. So that would be great. So again, that's it for this flip grid. I'm going to stop my share there. Jing's going to come on at about 5 o'clock. Or are you going to switch over to Jing at about 5 o'clock? Does anyone have any questions on Flipgrid? Do we have to show, what do we have to show when we're sharing our desktop? Just whatever your desktop. Actually, what I would like to see is if I show my desktop, what's kind of funny, this is, I'll pull this down here. See how many tabs I have open for my desktop? So what kind of person are you? Do you have lots of tabs or do you have few tabs? And so what would be kind of funny and neat to see from you is kind of what's on your tabs. So again, pull out anything personal in there and stuff like that. So I just want to see your desktop. That's it. Because you know, this will do a number of things. You know, again, if you can show me and have your voice on there, and if you can show me your desktop, that means that you can do this. So what I'd like to do is have you guys take about, you know, 5 or 7 minutes and try and do a flip grid. It doesn't, you know, as long as you're there, I'm going to kind of give you the points. And what you want to do is you want to make a flip grid where you basically say your name, show your face, do whatever, and then I want you to go on and to go to somebody else's. Not necessarily mine. Go meet somebody else or your friend or whatever who's in here and go and make a comment on their flip grid. When I grade this, I will be able to look at your flip grid and also the comments that you made. I'm going to give you 3 points for putting your face in there, telling me a funny story, and then showing me your desktop, and then I'm going to give you 2 points for making a comment on somebody else's. So let's take about 7 minutes and do that. I think it's really critical that you do this now, because if you have problems with it a little bit later, I'm not necessarily going to be there to help you. Okay? So let me, don't have a timer on here. Oh. So here is my clock. I'm going to do, it's backwards, but I'm going to do 7 minutes. Okay. So if you guys can do the, right now we're doing the flip grid. That's part of the lab today. It's a virtual lab. You're learning how to do the flip grid, but it's an interesting way of, the flip grid is an interesting way of kind of presenting yourself. And it's relatively simple. It's relatively easy to do. If they're having kindergartners do this, then you guys can do this. Yes, I know that the kindergartners are part of the digital generation, and this is in their blood nowadays. But you know, it's kind of something that we're going to need to do, and especially if we're going to be kind of going in and out of stay at home for the next year, it's something that you may need to do.
I have a quick question. Do I go through assignments to find the link to the Flipgrid?
Yes,
or...
you could go through assignments.
And do we click on the plus sign next to your picture?
I'm sorry, what?
Do we click on the plus sign next to your picture?
Yeah, that plus sign is when you want to start doing your presentation. That's what you click on, the big green plus sign.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Yeah, do we leave this meeting and then do it, or can we do it while we're on the meeting?
I think you could do it when you're on the meeting.
Okay.
If you want to leave and come back, you can do that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I somehow, when I go to assignments, it has the instructions, but there's no link to Flipgrid and no plus and not your videos.
Okay. So you should, let me share the screen. I'm going to go back to this. I am here as a student. Let me go back to home.
It's probably better. I just tried recording my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got, while I was trying to talk, you were talking, and then the other person was talking. It's probably best if we sign out.
Yeah, it's probably best if you sign out. You're right, because it will start getting confused on it. And I've had that problem with the mics. But let's get here. So under assignments, was that Stacy? That was you who asked the question, right?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. So if you go under Flipgrid and you click on this, and you,
Okay. Oh, can I show you my screen?
yes. Here, let me stop share.
See. Oh, it says host disabled.
Okay. Stacy, you should be able to share your screen. Why don't you go ahead and show me your screen? So on the bottom bar, there should be a little kind of green box with an arrow on it that says share screen.
Yeah, I just did that. Can you see it?
No, I cannot see it.
Not.
Can you try it now?
Still no? Okay.
Okay. So okay. So this is what I'm looking at right here. So you see something that should look like this, and then this is the share screen right here. And so if you click on that share screen, you should be able to share your screen. Is it not doing that?
I mean, I've touched it a bunch of times and it's not working. So, all right, I'll try and figure it out on my own. I'm gonna stop my video.
Okay, well, why don't you log out? Why don't you log off of this and then try and do it, and then come back. Okay, so the rest of you guys have already done it. We have we got a few minutes left.
Hi, Professor App. This is Catherine. I have a question because I'm kind of confused. Regarding to what you were sharing, do I need to click the green plus sign to
Yes.
record my response?
Yes, the green plus sign will allow you to record your response. Do you see that green plus sign? Or did you see
Yeah.
it before? Yeah. So if you
Mhm.
click on
Okay,
that, and
got
then
it.
what I want is just kind of your name, kind of what your major is, a funny story from lab class, and I want you to show me your oh, that's the alarm.
Okay.
And I want you to show me your desktop. For this assignment
Okay.
here, we're just kind of learning how to use Flipgrid.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Anthony, who is talking to me private. No, you don't need a code for Flipgrid. As long as you are doing it from Canvas, you are fine. What do we have to show? No, show when we're sharing from our desktop. Nothing. Just show me your desktop. I want to be able to see that you can kind of do something with your desktop. So Anthony, I don't know if you're still in here. I don't see him. Nope. Ah, there you are, Anthony. Came in a little bit late. So what we're doing is we're using Flipgrid to be able to send a video, and I want you to be able, eventually what I want you to do with Flipgrid is to be able to look at an item that's on your desktop and be able to present it to the class. And so what you're going to do this time with Flipgrid is you're going to go into Flipgrid, you're going to turn on the camera, you're going to show me your desktop, then you can get out of that. And then what I want you to do is to show me your face. I want you to tell me your name, what your major is, and then a funny story from lab, if you can do that. And so we're just learning how to do that. Yeah, so how do you show the desktop is I will do share the screen, go down onto Flipgrid. And so if you go onto Flipgrid, when you click on this big green button on here and you look at it, just to the left of the button there is the show options. And if we have it, this is the screen recording. So this is a beta option, only works in the Canvas in here. And so if you click on that, you can kind of show your screen. You can play around with it a little bit. Does that help? How do I show the desktop again? I don't have the three dots. I might have to record again. Yes, I think what happens is there's something that's going on there is once you record, the ability to show your desktop goes away. So what you want to do is first show your desktop when you have those three dots, and then go ahead and record your voice and say that. So does that help? That may help. Okay, getting new messages. Thank you, yes. Okay. All right, Melisha is coming back in. Melisha, is this your first time in, or did you were you able to do the Flipgrid? Was anyone here able to do the Flipgrid? I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to go back to Flipgrid. I'm going to go back and these are overdue assignments. If you see, well, I'm late here, overdue assignments. I'm going to go back to Flipgrid, click on this, go back down. Aha. Amy, Justin. Justin did it twice. Introduction and major. All right. Nice smile there. Let's see this one. Let's.
Hi, my name is Sahi. People call me DJ though. Either way is cool. My major was kinesiology, so I got my degree in that. But I'm looking to get to a graduate nursing program now, which is why I'm taking microbiology. Just one of the recs, as well as developmental psych. I'm taking that at some point. The most fun thing that I did during microbiology lab was just hitting the Bunsen burner, like turning the flame on. That's super fun for me. But yeah, nice to meet you. Next, I will do my screen share, show you my laptop.
All right. So that's looking good. I like the little thing up there. All right, you guys, that's looking good. All right, Amy, I saw you were able to put up your document, so that looks good. So it's relatively easy, kind of a neat kind of thing, and I guess I'll get to know you guys a little bit more by taking that thing, and not taking that thing by watching your materials. Does anyone have any questions? So basically what we're going to do with, what I want to do with those pictures is next week, I'm going to have you guys do your journal club presentation on it. So basically you'll make a slide or you'll have a Word document or something like that that you'll be able to go through, and you'll get a few minutes to do your presentation. I know all you guys did stuff on the white plague, some type of food poisoning or something like that. Still nothing comes up on my Canvas other than instructions. Can you post a link on chat? No, Stacy. So what I need to do, Stacy, is I need to look at, we need to do the Zoom. We can do it a little bit later if you want and stuff like that. I need to kind of see what's going on with your screen. Can we do Flipgrid outside of Canvas? Yes, but I'd rather us do it within Canvas, because that way it's a lot easier for me to grade. It goes right in the grade book. If we do a Flipgrid outside of Canvas, then you're going to have to show me a link to it. I'm going to have to go to your link, and then also you won't be able to kind of look at somebody else's. So again, let's try and do it through Canvas. Okay. Yeah, that's the invite code for it. But again, I'd rather you have it kind of go through Canvas. So if you can try it, that's fine. But it should show up automatically. That's the reason why we're kind of using Canvas. And I don't understand why Canvas is going a little bit different. All right, Peter, how'd it go?
I think it went okay. It took me a second to figure it out, but not bad at all.
Yeah. So you guys are all smart people, so it wasn't that hard to do, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is next week we're going to use this to present our journal club. And then after that, we're going to use it for our M&M reports that we're going to do. I'm probably going to change our M&M reports, because if you notice on the Flipgrid, you can't work with your partner there. So what I'll probably have you do is one person do half of the report, M&M report, and the other person do the other half of the M&M report. And we'll figure out how to do that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Are those graded individually or as a pair?
The M&Ms?
Yeah.
Ideally, it's graded as a pair, but I'm having some people, and nowadays people are having a hard time getting a hold of their partners and kind of stuff like that. So what I may do is the vast majority of it is how well you do on your part. But what I want to do is I do want some continuity of it. I do want you guys to work together. But again, if your partner disappeared and is gone, like, I don't want to, unduly take points off of you for somebody who couldn't help what happened with them.
Okay. Thanks.
Is anyone else? All right, so if we go back, if I share the screen again, I'm going to click on the screen. And so if you look, there's Phyllis in her great backyard, Kay, Anthony, all these people. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back here and you're going to click on somebody else besides you and somebody else besides me. And what you want to do is make a comment on their flip grid. And so if you click on it, you can make a comment on their flip grid. You can view their flip grid and then you can make a comment on it. Do I need to show you that, or am I okay not showing you that?
I already did it.
You already did it? Okay. So the great thing about this is I'm going to be able to go in and do the speed grader. I can look at what you did on the film. I can look at what your comment is, and I can kind of put it in right in here. So it makes it a lot easier for me. Okay, does anyone have any questions? I know we're going to get people kind of slowly coming back. In this group, has anyone had problems with doing the simulations, the ELISA simulation? Okay, I figure this group wouldn't be the group that's having the problem with it.
I had a few technical difficulties where it would just get stuck, and even if I was clicking on the right thing, it wouldn't go anywhere. If I just logged out and back in, it seemed to fix the problem, but it was frustrating a bit.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm having troubles getting in here. So people ask if they can do the flip grid a little bit later. I would say yes. So if you want to do, I know a lot of you are sorry to call you, but a lot of you may be kind of the anal retentive types. You need to get 100% on everything. You need to do the most perfect job on everything. Again, in this day of age, we're looking at don't let perfect be the enemy of good. But if you need more time to do your flip grid, again, I think I give you until Sunday to do all the flip grids. So I'll probably go through and I'll grade those on Sunday. So yes, you have time. So Anthony, yes, you have time. My computer isn't working. So anyone else? Any other questions? All right. So I'm going to go back and so I'm going to go back and show you the screen, share the screen. Okay. Here's going back to Flipgrid. It's a fun little activity. If we go back to assignments and so the assignments that are due. So your disease presentation, I'm sorry, I thought I got rid of this. Well, actually this disease presentation is not due till April 30th. So I'm gonna move that back. That's not gonna be due at that time. Does anyone know what the Blue Book E3? Did you guys do that one, or are you guys still doing that one, or what is the Blue Book E3? I don't see it in the.
That's like an extra credit thing we turn in when we do our test.
Uh-huh.
So Janelle should be grading that one.
Okay.
It's just kind of like extra credit.
Okay. Is that something that you guys would like to go forward on the final then too?
It's like you do challenge. She does challenge statements, and
On
then
the
you
exam.
have to answer them. Yeah, and then you
During her lecture, she
during her
includes
lecture.
challenge statements, and if you have all of them, if you submit all of them at with your answers at the final time, she gives you extra credit. It's sort of a attendance participation extra credit point she was giving.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know about that. How about this quiz number 10? Did you guys do this, or what's with the quiz?
Those
That-
are graded by her, I think, too, or automatically. But I think in her email she said that we are still expected to do all the quizzes.
Okay. Let me take a look at that and see if it's up and see how many people have done it. The exam, I see that is still up. So Flipgrid, that is that's available until May 3rd. Or actually, I'd like you to do it kind of by April 30th. The Labster demo, this, I gave you 1 point, you know, if you want to do it, to do the demonstration of a Labster. I'm asking people who haven't done Labster before or haven't played video games or whatever, if they're having problems, do the Labster first. It's a little bit simpler. The ELISA and then the hematology are the two next labs to do. And then I will take a look at the quizzes. Last day quiz. Okay. We are going to be, or we're not going to be doing an unknown report here, but we will have a Labster activity where you will be identifying kind of an unknown on that. So we'll be working on that a little bit. So bear with me. I know I didn't talk about what's in the M&M, and I will go through and talk about that. But you guys were expected to make a PowerPoint for the M&M. You were expected to make a PowerPoint, and I need to find that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So I'm going to stop sharing it. All right, so people are kind of trickling back in. Does anyone have any further questions? What I'd suggest for you guys is, and on all this stuff, get it done early. Don't submit it during exam day, because what you want to focus in on is the exam. Do the best that you can at the exam. Don't be worrying about, oh, I got this deadline and all that and stuff like that. But the exam day, work on your exam. That day, I'll be giving you two more. I'll be downloading 2 more Labsters. I may, if I get them set up, an announcement in the background for them set up, I may drop those a little bit early in order for you to do that. But again, what I would focus in on is doing your lab and doing the best that you can in the lab. All right. So sorry, guys. That's kind of what I have for today. Again, look at the Labster for the hematology. It's really great. So you guys are doing a gizmo stain there, and you'll be identifying what the different types of blood cells are in the blood by doing a blood stain. And so normally it's kind of something that we would do a little bit in the micro lab. It's kind of a fun thing to do. Phyllis, you submitted 2 videos. The first one didn't take a selfie of me. Can you delete that? I couldn't figure out how to delete it. Yeah, I'll take a look at those and see. I may or may not be able to delete that one, but we got to try and do that. Anyone else? Thank you. So Jing is going to be in her Zoom at 5 o'clock. So you could go ahead and talk to Jing at 5 o'clock. So she'll have everything. I don't kind of know what's, well, we'll see what's going on with the exam and kind of everything else on that. Again, I will hang out here for a little while until 5 o'clock. Then I have another meeting to go to, but I will also hang out after your lecture. I will open this up back again. So if you have a question, or if you're going to do the Flipgrid, and kind of let me know about it. Okay. So for those of you who are just kind of joining me, this is the end of the lab. So you are responsible for doing a Flipgrid, and you are responsible for looking at the hematology simulation. I will be here till about 5 o'clock. You're going to need to log out, and you're going to need to log in on Jing's Zoom lecture. I have recorded this, so I will post it for people who need it. And Jing, it's not office hours. These are supplemental questions that you have on there. I'd strongly recommend that you go to it. So I wouldn't call it office hours. What she's doing is kind of flipping the classroom, where basically you are kind of looking at the lectures, and then you're kind of coming back and you're having kind of a guided discussion. No one ever shows up for my office hours.
I have a question really quick.
Yes.
For the unknown labster, is it going to be, on Canvas right now, it's 55 points, but is it going to be like the other labsters worth 10, or are you still figuring that out?
I'm still figuring that out. I don't think it's going to be 55 points. It's going to be reduced a little bit.
Okay. Okay,
So,
thanks.
yeah. All right, so I'm still here. I'll be here for another 5 minutes or so. And if you want, if there's a Science in Action seminar series going on. This out.
Hi, Professor Cap. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Yvette.
Hey. Okay, sorry. I just hopped back on right now. I just want to make sure. So I know you did tell us that we have to make so we have to make 2 different videos, right? One of them is just ourselves, and the other one is of our screen.
No, I want one video. Ideally, just one video. So you go in, you take a picture. What you may need to do is remember when there's those 3 dots next to the camera. To the left of it, there should be 3 dots. If you click on that, it says capture screen. So I want you to capture your screen, and then to that, I want you to add your video. So if you made 2 videos at this point, that's okay. But I do want one. The Flipgrid allows you to make a picture of something, get out, and then make a picture of something different, and you add those together.
Okay, maybe it's not doing it because I know you told me to click on the 3 dots. These are
Yeah.
the only option it gives me. It says add video clip and record without audio. Maybe because I'm on an iPad, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe because you're on an iPad.
Okay.
But what you
I'll
just
try
did
to-
there, taking your camera and showing me that's fine too.
Oh, okay. So I could actually use my phone and then just flip this camera and show you?
Yeah. As
Okay.
long as I see it, it doesn't matter. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of difference. I was thinking that all this is all because it's all cloud-based stuff. It really shouldn't matter, but it does. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Bye.
Bye now.